following presentation is rated PG and may contain coarse language and mature themes. Viewer discretion is advised.
A lot of bad things have happened to me in my life since getting clean, for sure. Like, it hasn't all been an upward trend. I've had really difficult things happen to me. I've had a lot of people have died. I've had to sit in grief and sit in like really intense emotional states and feelings of failure and inadequacy and all of these kind of stressful life situations that could lead someone to say, oh, well, I used again because of that, or like I used again like to comfort myself because this person died or whatever. And I've always just kind of told myself like, yeah, but no matter what, I'm not going to use, because even if something feels like this is as bad as life gets, it could be worse. If you were using and this was happening, it would be worse.
I'm Peter Anthony, and I'm inviting you to join me with friends old and new who have battled substance abuse disorder and have come out clean on the other side. What's it take to kick drugs and alcohol, and what's it like living the sober life? Find out right here on Recovery Road.
My name's Mark, and I'm in recovery from opioid addiction. I mean, I have early memories as a child, even abusing things that were in the medicine cabinet, cough medicine with DXM in it. I would drink that and be like, wow, going to bed is easier and more fun if I drink cough medicine. My brain is just kind of wired, I guess, for using substances. When I was a teenager, I kind of started smoking weed, and not that early of a teenager though. I don't think I wasn't really smoking weed every day until I was 15. There was a lot of tension in my house as a child. I think mainly because, my parents were really young and I was a really difficult child. So there would be a lot of confrontation that escalated. There's kind of trauma from that, I suppose, that could have lent itself to, searching for escapism through substances. So I ended up first moving out of my parents' house before I was 16, and then I had my own apartment at that age, which didn't really go in a good direction because I was very irresponsible. I started to deal drugs to other 15 and 16-year-olds pretty much right away because I had my own space, which was not common. I started doing it for a living and paying my rent that way. And then I had a small circle of friends I started doing heroin with. I didn't feel like it was a big problem. Looking back now as an older adult, you could see that every single day of my life was a huge problem. I'm not exactly sure when exactly I started realizing that I had a serious opiate problem, but I was an addict for a long time knowing that I had a problem as well, yeah. I remember feeling sad too, on a day-to-day where I would just kind of wake up and the rest of the world would be doing normal things, and I would think about all the bad things that could happen to me that day. And also, when I first started trying to get clean and failing, that was hard psychologically, because then I started kind of really feeling like I was like a prisoner in my body. I actually came out to the East Coast just because I found it so difficult to not be around people that were doing opiates. If I wasn't gonna come out of it, it was gonna be my death. So I started making pretty serious effort, and my coming to Nova Scotia was part of that effort. The biggest thing was I didn't know anybody out here. I had just never been east of Montreal. I just wanted to get into a completely new space where I wasn't going to have access to anybody that would even have access to opioids. It actually didn't take me long before I met people that did have access to it, just because I guess that's just the way it goes. When you're motivated, you will find something. One of our neighbors saw what was going on in the apartment and was like, whoa, these people are crazy drug addicts, and then they called child protective people, and then they came and took Lydia out of the situation. That was very traumatic for me. Some people they feel you keep going down until you get to a rock bottom, and then you need to get a foothold on that rock bottom to try to push back up. That moment was where the child protection people came in and took my daughter. That was that for me. I never used opiates again after that. I started going to court, started the process of trying to get custody of my daughter back, which took quite a long time. Other things, changed in my life for the better after not using, and I don't really want to preach my opinion too much, but I do advocate for methadone maintenance treatment. I think it's saved a lot. I think it saved a lot of lives, and I feel like I'm one of the people that methadone really, really helped. And I'm not on methadone now. I was on it for 3 years, and I slowly tapered down with the help of Dr. Crosscarry. I think that those physical interventions are necessary with certain levels of opiate addiction.
I want to go back to the last time you used opioids and your recovery moving forward. Can you tell me about how that started and tell me about how you reached out for help and where that help came from?
The last day that I used opioids would have been the day that the Child Protective Service people came with the police to take my daughter away. So earlier that day, I would have just used any kind of other day just to make it a normal day kind of thing. And then that happened, and it was really traumatic. And I got myself into inpatient detox again immediately. And that time I was really adamant that I wanted to go on methadone maintenance for a long term, because I knew that was going to be my best chance of not just continuing to use out of sickness or just to have a normal day or whatever. So for me, with that motivation that came and the physical help of the methadone maintenance, that I just started getting more and more clean time in. Once I was no longer using, and I was no longer kind of always in danger or always in a high stress situation or going between high and sick, then my life started to kind of fall into a routine, and I started picking up hobbies. I got into stand-up comedy. Mm-hmm. That was something
I know a little bit about that.
Yeah, just giving me something to do, right, and something to attach onto. And then I went back to school and I studied programming and database development. During that time, I was developing video and video editing and that kind of thing as a hobby. Yeah, I just threw myself right into my hobbies. In a weird way, my brain was so wired for addiction that I guess I got addicted to other things.
You needed something to take the place of the drug.
Yeah. So now I have an unhealthy obsession with making videos, and
I don't think that's unhealthy though, right?
Yeah, no, maybe it's not.
Of things.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you just have to always make sure that it's not interfering with your health and your sleep and your routine.
I think we're connected to the future version of ourselves.
Yes.
And I think we're connected to that person with the way we think and the actions we take.
For sure, yeah. I mean, in that sense, it's almost like all of our actions today are sending like a message to our future selves.
Exactly.
Like, you know, the things that we do today that we may not like to do are kind of a gift to our future selves.
Yeah, yeah.
So-
you don't get abs right away.
Yeah.
You got to do the sit-ups today, right?
Yeah,
You get abs
yeah.
down the road. Not
Yeah.
that I have abs. I don't know why I use that analogy, but
Yeah.
you see my point, right?
I've had abs before, it's not that big a deal.
In terms of like the community at large or healthcare providers, how important was that in your recovery?
Huge. You know, it's been so many years now. I don't know any of the same people that are around the Nova Scotia hospital there, but when I came through it, their care was amazing. Like I mentioned before, especially Dr. Crosscarry, but like when you first get on methadone, they don't just give you a bunch of methadone to take at your house. Like you have to go there every day. It forced me into that feeling of like routine. It's like, okay, this is what I do every day. And then I see these people and they were like a real contact to the normal world. Like, cause most of the people I'm talking to are now like healthcare professionals and like that kind of thing. And they really wanted the best for me. You know, I just try to keep things really simple with my recovery. And I try not to overcomplicate like the decisions that I make in life with the lens of addiction even anymore, because I feel so disconnected from that person that was in an active addiction. But one thing that I sometimes do repeat to myself is just, I'm not going to use. And it doesn't need to really be more complicated than that. Whatever life throws at you, or whatever, you know, position you find yourself in, or transition. You were talking about chapters. Say you're going from one chapter to another chapter. There's trauma in that. Like a lot of the time it's because of trauma. Like you just have to keep telling yourself, I'm not going to use. And it's that simple.
Mark, I just want to say thank you very much for sharing your story today, and congratulations on your recovery. And there's one more thing I want to get you to do, because there's someone that was on this show that's very important to you, and I wanted to bring them back, because not only are you both in recovery, you're a couple.
That's right.
And how long have you guys been together for?
A year.
Yeah, around there.
And the
Yeah.
fact that you're both in recovery, I'm just curious, like how that works in terms of your relationship. Like, are you guys encouraging each other all the time? Does it come up a lot? Does it come up not at all? How does that work?
Well, I mean, it's kind of hard for it not to come up because Leanne is a recovery influencer. So she brings up things like that, and we've both, you know, shared our story, like, and our backstories with each other, and we kind of do frequently, and we do encourage each other. But that's not to say that, like, you know, each of us wouldn't still be sober on our own, like, because sobriety is part of both of our lifestyles in a major way.
And oftentimes, like, I'll ask them just a random question, like, so I remember how something was like for me. I'm like, so did this also happen to you when you were in active addiction? And then we talk about it, just different elements of like, did you also feel, you know, anxiety, or like what was like the next day, what the guilt and shame, what would that feel like for you? So we'll have those little conversations with each other, and then just talk about how, and most of the time we'll find that we're very similar.
People that are, you know, just starting recovery, I think they need to know that there probably is someone out there for them, that it's not impossible to meet someone. You just got to give it time and be patient like everything else. And I'm glad you guys are making this work, and I'm glad you could join me, and let's do a happy ending. We'll walk down the road together.
Yeah.
You guys can, yeah,
Love
you guys
it.
can.
I love it.
Good.
Yeah.
No, I don't need to hold it.
Yeah, just coach us. Yeah.
All right. What do you guys do the rest of today?